Imagine a farm where a robot works all day and all night, without taking a lunch break, without calling in sick, and without asking for overtime. It sounds like science fiction. But on American farms, this future is already becoming reality. And here's the surprising part: these robots aren't being developed just to make farming look futuristic. They are being built to solve one of the biggest problems facing agriculture today: the shortage and rising cost of farm labor. But can a machine really do the work of a human farmer? And more importantly, which farm jobs could disappear first? Stay until the end, because one of the biggest changes may not be what you expect. For decades, American agriculture has depended heavily on human workers for some of the most difficult and repetitive jobs on the farm. Planting, weeding, spraying, monitoring crops, and harvesting. The problem is that these jobs can require thousands of hours of labor, especially during peak seasons. For farmers, that creates a difficult equation. If workers are unavailable, crops can be damaged or harvested too late. If farmers hire more workers, labor costs can rise dramatically. And when margins are already tight, every additional expense matters. This is where artificial intelligence and farm robotics are changing the game. Modern agricultural robots can use cameras, sensors, GPS, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to understand what is happening in a field. Instead of simply driving through a field randomly, an intelligent robot can identify plants, detect weeds, analyze crop conditions, and make decisions based on what it sees. Think about what that means. A human worker may have to walk through rows of crops for hours looking for weeds. An AI-powered robot can continuously scan those same rows. It can identify the difference between a crop and a weed. And in some systems, the robot can target the unwanted plant instead of treating the entire field. That could mean less wasted chemical, less manual labor, and potentially lower operating costs. But weeding is only the beginning. AI robots are also being developed for tasks like precision spraying, crop monitoring, harvesting, and even autonomous field operations. And this is where things get really interesting. Instead of replacing every worker overnight, robots may first take over the most repetitive and physically demanding jobs. The jobs that require workers to perform the same movement over and over, for hours. That is exactly where automation has the biggest advantage. A robot doesn't get tired in the same way a human does. It can work consistently for long periods, collect data while it works, and repeat the same task with incredible precision. But there's another reason farmers are interested in this technology. Data. Every time an AI robot moves through a field, it can potentially collect information about the crops. Which areas are growing well? Where are weeds appearing? Which plants look unhealthy? Where is irrigation needed? Where could disease be developing? Instead of simply having a machine doing the work, farmers can have a machine that is constantly learning about the farm. And that could completely change how decisions are made. But here's the big question. If robots can perform these jobs faster and more efficiently, does that mean American farm workers will eventually become unnecessary? Not necessarily. Because the future of farming may not be humans versus robots. It may be humans working alongside robots. Farmers could focus more on planning, management, maintenance, and decision-making, while robots handle dangerous, repetitive, and physically demanding tasks. And that brings us to the most important question. What happens when these robots become cheaper, smarter, and capable of doing more jobs at the same time? That is where the real transformation of American farming could begin. And in Part 2, we'll look at the farm jobs most likely to be automated first, and how this technology could change the economics of farming in the United States. So, which farm jobs are most likely to be automated first? The answer may surprise you. It probably won't start with the farmer sitting inside the tractor. It will start with the repetitive jobs that are already difficult to fill. Take harvesting, for example. Harvesting certain fruits and vegetables can require large numbers of workers during a very short window. If the crop is ready today, farmers can't simply wait another month. The fruit needs to be picked at the right time. That's why companies are developing robotic harvesting systems that use cameras and artificial intelligence to identify ripe produce. The robot can locate the crop, determine whether it is ready to harvest, and carefully pick it. This is extremely challenging because every fruit can be different. Some may be hidden behind leaves. Others may be at different heights or angles. But AI systems are becoming better at recognizing these differences. And as the technology improves, robotic harvesting could become one of the biggest changes in specialty agriculture. Then there is spraying. Traditional spraying can treat huge areas, even when only a small percentage of the field actually has a problem. AI-powered systems can take a different approach. Instead of treating everything equally, intelligent machines can identify specific areas that need attention. That is the idea behind precision agriculture. More information, more accuracy, and potentially less waste. Now imagine combining all of this. A robot moves through the field. Its cameras scan the plants. Its AI analyzes the data. It identifies weeds. It detects unhealthy crops. It creates a digital map. And another machine uses that information to take action. That isn't just a robot replacing one worker. That is an entire farming workflow becoming increasingly automated. But there is an important reality that we shouldn't ignore. These robots are not perfect. They can be expensive. They need maintenance. They need software. And farms are incredibly unpredictable environments. Mud, dust, rain, uneven ground, extreme temperatures, and unexpected obstacles can all create problems for machines. There is also the question of economics. If a robot costs more than the labor it replaces, a farmer may have little reason to buy it. But as technology improves and production increases, those costs can potentially come down. And when that happens, adoption could accelerate. This is why the future of farm labor probably won't happen in one dramatic moment. It will happen step by step. First, a robot handles one task. Then another. Then several machines begin communicating with each other. Eventually, a farmer could manage an entire fleet of autonomous machines from a single control system. And that changes the role of the farmer. The farmer of the future may spend less time physically performing repetitive field work, and more time managing technology, analyzing data, making decisions, and optimizing production. So, can AI robots replace farm workers? For some tasks, the answer is already becoming yes. But completely replacing humans is a much bigger challenge. The more realistic future is a farm where humans and machines work together. Robots handle the repetitive work. AI handles enormous amounts of data. And farmers make the decisions that machines still struggle to understand. But there is one final question. What happens when these robots become affordable enough for ordinary American farms, not just huge agricultural companies? Because when that happens, AI farming may stop being an experiment and start becoming the new normal. The farms that adopt the technology early could potentially gain a major advantage in productivity, efficiency, and labor management. And the farms that ignore it may eventually find themselves competing against operations that can work smarter, faster, and with far fewer manual hours. The farming revolution isn't coming someday. It is already beginning. And the machines entering American fields today could give us a preview of what farming will look like tomorrow.